Yellowstone supereruption, the day America disappears. Yellowstone National Park is home to hundreds of geysers and hot springs, all of which are reminders of the tremendous power that lies beneath the park's seemingly tranquil landscapes. But what if that power went supernova? What if the Yellowstone caldera had a massive eruption so big that it wiped out all life within 60 miles of the blast? Today we are going to find out just how destructive such an event would be. What would happen to the surrounding areas and the rest of the United States? Would California still exist, or would the entire West Coast be gone? How far away from Yellowstone National Park would you need to be in order to survive? This is one big caldera forming event that we hope never happens anytime soon. Yellowstone National Park spans parts of 3 states, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. The park is home to over 300 days of the year, geysers and hot springs due to the magma chamber located deep below the surface. Yellowstone is considered a supervolcano with a magma chamber that stretches over 40 by 25 miles. And while there have been many smaller eruptions over the past, the last major eruption occurred around 640,000 years ago. The largest of the 3 calderas is known as the magma chamber, and measures about 30 by 45 miles. It's so vast that if you were to remove the top layer of soil and displace all the displaced rock, the resulting crater would be about 23 miles deep, deeper than the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the world's oceans. However, unlike the vast majority of volcanoes, Yellowstone isn't shaped like a cone. Instead, it looks more like a giant rectangle, and it's not because someone spilled ink on the map. It's actually due to the fact that Yellowstone sits directly atop a hotspot, but also a transformed fault line where 2 tectonic plates are sliding past each other. As such, the magma chamber isn't perfectly circular but is instead influenced by these 2 forces and has taken on a rectangular shape. In terms of its explosivity, Yellowstone ranks among the most dangerous volcanoes on Earth. Experts use the Volcanic Explosivity Index to categorize volcanic eruptions based on various factors such as the eruption height and the volume of material ejected. On this scale, an eruption of 1 is considered small, whereas 8 indicates a truly catastrophic event. Yellowstone's most recent full eruption was assigned a VEI rating of 6, while the largest was rated an astonishing 15. Such a rating is shared by only 4 other volcanoes in recorded history. So what would a Yellowstone supereruption look like? What kind of destruction would it cause? What would happen next? Let's start by taking a closer look at the immediate aftermath of a Yellowstone supereruption. If such an event were to occur today, scientists estimate that over 87,000 people would be in the direct path of destruction. Towns near Yellowstone, such as West Yellowstone, Mammoth Hot Springs, and Cody, Wyoming, along with Idaho Falls, Rexburg, and Pocatello, Idaho, would all be obliterated. Most people within 60 miles of the actual blast would die instantly, either from the force of the explosion or from being burned alive by temperatures reaching 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. An additional 29 million people live within 250 miles of the park, and their lives would also be at risk. A pyroclastic flow consisting of hot gas and solid matter could travel up to 60 miles per hour and would reach all the way to the Absaroka Range in less than 15 minutes. Larger pieces of debris would come raining back down to the ground where they would remain embedded for thousands of years. Areas further away from the blast zone wouldn't be completely safe either, as falling debris and scorching hot winds could still cause significant damage over a much larger radius. Pyroclastic flows would race into the valleys below, burying everything in their path. Even those who survived the initial blast would likely perish from inhaling superheated steam, ash, or toxic gases. Some might try to seek refuge in the nearby mountains, but even there, heavy volcanic mud flows called lahars could bury entire mountain ranges under tons of debris. Only those who were high enough up in the mountains, preferably above tree line, would have any hope of survival. But what would happen to the rest of the United States? What about California? Well, let's explore the possible scenarios that could unfold. The first thing that would happen is that the air quality across the country would deteriorate significantly. Millions of tons of ash and fine particulate matter would be injected into the atmosphere, blocking out the sun and causing widespread darkness. This would lead to a rapid onset of winter conditions, causing temperatures to plummet as much as 7 degrees Celsius below normal. Crops would wither and die, leading to food shortages and disruptions in the global food supply chain. Additionally, The amount of sulfur dioxide released during the eruption could trigger the formation of sulfuric acid in the upper atmosphere, leading to acid rain, which would further devastate agriculture and damage ecosystems. The injection of ash and gas into the stratosphere would create a thick haze that would block sunlight from reaching the Earth's surface, plunging the planet into darkness for several months. According to some estimates, as much as 200 billion cubic feet of ash could be ejected during the eruption, blanketing an area of over 3,000 square miles in a layer of ash several feet deep. This massive cloud of debris would then spread across the globe, disrupting air travel and causing engine failures in aircraft. Ash falling over the ocean could sink to the seafloor, altering marine ecosystems and potentially affecting fisheries. So how far away from Yellowstone National Park would you need to be in order to survive such an event? To be safe, you would need to be at least 500 miles away from the blast zone. But even at that distance, the sky would still be filled with falling debris. And while the immediate threat from the blast wave and pyroclastic flows would be over, the long-term effects of ashfall and climate change could still pose significant challenges to your survival. But what about California? Would it still exist after a Yellowstone supereruption? Well, the answer depends on just how much magma is released during the eruption. If it's on the lower end of the spectrum, then California should remain intact. But if it's on the higher end, then the entire western half of the US could be obliterated. So would California still exist? Probably. But what about the rest of the West Coast? Well, a Yellowstone supereruption would cause such widespread devastation that the West Coast as we know it simply wouldn't exist anymore. Oregon and Washington state would be uninhabitable for years, if not decades, due to ashfall, climate change, and other factors. Cities like Portland and Seattle would be among the hardest hit areas outside of the immediate blast zone. In fact, the entire Pacific Northwest region would be grappling with the aftermath of the eruption for many years to come. So in conclusion, a Yellowstone supereruption would be one of the most catastrophic events in human history. Even those who survived the initial blast would face significant challenges in the aftermath, including food shortages, climate change, and widespread infrastructure damage. While California would likely still exist, the same couldn't be said for the rest of the West Coast. It's a grim scenario to contemplate, but one that serves as a reminder of the incredible power of nature. Thank you for watching. When will Yellowstone erupt again? Some scientists estimate that there is a 1 in 730,000 chance of a super eruption occurring in the next 100 years. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.